Wednesday, everyone. I'm very excited to be here. I am Anne LaFollette, and it's Wednesday at noon Pacific time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern. And I am live every Wednesday here on my Facebook business page and over on my YouTube channel. And I hope to see many of you here today because we are going to talk about my fabulous membership, which is called Anne's Atelier. And I can see you, Pauline Riley, over on my YouTube channel, and I can see that you also popped over here to my Facebook page. So thank you so much, Pauline Riley, for checking that I am in fact broadcasting in all the right places. And I am excited to be here today. One of the things I always really like to do is to start out by making sure that you know about my blog. And I had to completely reinvent myself from a corporate job that I had for over 30 years. And, you know, when one part of your life totally gets blown up, got laid off, and that whole part of my life got blown up, you have to be resilient and you have to be able to sort of land on your feet. And I had to reinvent myself. And I tell you, if I was able to reinvent myself completely, and now I have this online business, and I did all that in my late 50s, so can you. One of the things I did is I became very disciplined about growing a community. And I wanted to find people like you who are watching me today and people like you who've taken my programs in the past or are taking one of my programs right now. And I communicate on a weekly basis consistently. Every single Tuesday I write a blog, and every single Wednesday I come on live to talk about it. So what I like to do is I like to make sure that, first of all, I can say hello to you if you say hi in the comments, so I can see that Felice is here today. It's lovely to see you. Thank you so much for joining me. Many of you may be watching the replay, and you are very, very welcome here as well. But I always like to start off by making sure you know, well, where do you find my blog? And how can you actually join my email list so that you get my blog every Tuesday morning? Because every week I write about art, creativity, and my passion, which is surface pattern design. And I'd never heard of surface pattern design before, but I learned all about it almost 10 years ago now, and that is what my thriving business is all about. And surface pattern design is essentially any design that goes on a surface. And it's a huge industry because there are designs on lots of surfaces. There is a design on this cute little bunny, right? This is a surface design because it's a repeating pattern that's on this cute little bunny. This is like some kind of, hand-painted thing. Anyway, it's a beautiful little bunny that I have from my parents' house. And there is a pattern on my blouse that's a repeating pattern. This is a watercolor pattern that's a repeating pattern on my blouse. There's something on my carpet. There's a repeating pattern on my carpet. There are also illustrations on my tea towels in my kitchen. I also have tons of wrapping paper. I can teach you how to make your own wrapping paper with your own designs on it, as well as fabric, right? As well as designs you can put on fabric that you can then put into quilts, or you can put on any type of clothing that you might want to sew. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing industry. It's huge. There are designs everywhere, and everyone approaches it incredibly uniquely because you're unique, and so the art that you create is totally unique. So what I wanted to do to start off is I wanted to pop over to my website so that you can see how you can learn more about me if you're new here, or this is also a great place for you to join my email list, because if you scroll down, I'm on my website right now, and I just want to make sure that I can see what you guys can see, because I think that's always helpful. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to get myself organized over here. And yeah, so you guys can see this, what's on screen right now. It's AnneLaFolletteArt.com, which is my website. And if you just scroll down, you might be interested in one of my free downloads. Hi, Deborah Paradis. I see you, and Kathleen Lambert is here too. It's great to see you. So if you scroll down on my website, you can see that I have 3 guides that you might really enjoy. If you don't have them already, you might like this one, which is how to craft a career or a side gig, or start a little bit of bring in a little bit of side income from surface pattern design. This is a 28-page ebook, and you can download it right here. Maybe you're preparing for a craft fair. Maybe you're going to be doing a craft fair later in the year, especially if you want to get prepared now to do one around the holidays. This is a fantastic guide that will help you set up your choose the right items to take to your craft fair, how to expand them with surface designs if you don't actually have anything that has a surface pattern on it. And then also I tell you all the different ways you want to merchandise your table so that you can really, really walk away with my top tips to earn $1,000 or more at your next craft fair. And then I always love to update my favorite art supplies. People ask me all the time, what do I really like to use when I'm creating all of my artwork? And so thank you, Joan Davis, for saying that it's beautiful. I appreciate that. And I see that you're joining me from YouTube, which is awesome. So if you're curious about surface design and learning more, this is where you can download my free ebook. It's my 28-page ebook. And then, of course, I have wonderful testimonials from students who've taken some of my programs before. And here we are right now on my weekly Wednesday chat, right? This is where you can always find me. You can click here to come over to where you're watching me right now, which is on either Facebook or on YouTube. But if I pop back all the way up to the top, you can see that over here on the right, I have this red button that's called my blog. You click on it and then you can scroll down and you can see that every single Tuesday for the past 5 years, I've been writing a blog post. And in April, we've really focused on the power of recurring revenue and top membership ideas and Stu McLaren's membership experience that just closed. It's a program that he offers once a year, and he just finished the enrollment period, and I love to support him because he taught me how to create my own membership, which I call Anne's Atelier, and that is actually what I wrote about yesterday. And I'm just going to click here to go into it so that you can also see that I'm going to talk a little bit about it and why I'm excited to share it with you, because I think it's one of my best kept secrets. So I have a membership because I took Stu McLaren's program several years ago, and having a membership in your creative business brings in income on an ongoing basis. It's recurring income because you have monthly members and you have annual members. And hello, Betsy. It's great to see Betsy here as well from joining me from my YouTube channel. So I think that what's really important about, so first of all, the word atelier might not have been the best name for me to pick because I know it's actually French. It's a little hard to pronounce, but it means creative studio in French. And since I grew up in Paris, I thought it would be the perfect name for my very special program that is for creatives like you. And if you reflect for a minute about kind of how you're doing right now in your own creative practice, I'm curious whether or not you would like to have some accountability. If you'd also love to be in a community where you can participate in our networking sessions and our Q&A sessions. They're on Zoom, so you get to actually see who's in the room with you, who's in the Zoom room with you. And also, if you want additional clarity around the specific next steps that you want to take right now in your surface pattern design or your creative journey, it's incredible to be a part of a community that will support you that way. And you can also, I think it's important to be able to have a connection with other creatives because it's lonely doing it yourself. So one of the most important things that I learned from Stu McLaren is it's very important that the membership not be overwhelming. So I'm going to come back on screen, and you now know where you can find the blog post and you can read all the details on the blog. But the key thing when you create a membership, and if you want to join my membership, Pauline is putting the link to it in the chat. I think it's really important that it not be too overwhelming, right? Because we all have a lot going on. And so you don't want to be overwhelmed with so much information that you're actually not going to be able to keep up, and then you won't stay in the membership because it's overwhelming. So one of the things that Stu taught me and that I definitely believe in, and it's been very successful as I've implemented it in my Anne's Atelier membership, is you just want to get into a cadence. You want to get into a little bit of a rhythm. You want to give your members flexibility to join you when you're having a particular like Zoom call, but you also want them to be able to always watch the replays instead if they get too busy. But you want to be able to join, get into sort of a rhythm. And so my membership works like this. I'll tell you just a little bit about how it works. When you join, you take essentially a quiz so that you can then understand what stage of development you're in your creative career. And there are 4 different buckets. You'll get put into one of 4 buckets. And then there's a list of activities that you're going to want to follow in order to then move to the next stage. And then as an entire group, what we do is we basically do 4 things together. The first Monday of every month, we get together to select our goals. Right? You want to have, I usually ask you to have no more than 3 goals for the month. We start out by celebrating what you accomplished in the month prior, and then we pick goals for the month that we're about to enter. So we are just about to close up the month of April, and in May, we'll have our first meeting on Zoom so that we're all together. We can all see each other. You can be unmuted. We can talk as a group. We can also go into breakout groups so that you have an opportunity to network with each other, and you set your goals. You share one thing that you accomplished last month that you're super proud of and that you want everybody to know about, and then you establish 3 goals for the month. And saying them out loud, writing them down, and making sure that you are serious about them has a high probability of success for you to accomplish them. And studies have shown over and over that if you write them down and you also say them out loud to a group of people, you are actually going to be able to achieve success in achieving them because you've put them out into the world in a bigger way than just keeping them to yourself. So that's how we kick off the month. Then in the second week of the month, there's a recorded spotlight. It's either a spotlight from someone who's in the membership who's done something that they're sharing. It's a how I did this spotlight, or it could be a visiting creative who I have. And Pauline and I, my community manager, work on this together, and Pauline's an incredible interviewer. And so they're recorded sessions so that you can watch them at your leisure. You can learn what someone in the membership is doing. So the last 3 have been amazing. They're always amazing. But listen to this. One of them was about how one of our members just got her first licensing contract and exactly what she did to get it. Another one was another member who shared her portfolio and how she used mock-ups to make it really pop and make it so much more effective as a way to showcase her work. That was a how I did this with her portfolio and mock-ups. And then we also had one that was all about how to use Amazon and create what's called a KDP shop. And one of our members has a booklet now that she is selling through Amazon, and she walked the members through how she did it. And so it's an incredibly fabulous way for you to learn what other people are doing, how they're expanding the way in which they're bringing money into their own creative business. And there's an incredible amount of both richness and vitality and kind of tapestry from sharing all of that with one another. Then, and the reason I'm super excited to be talking about this today, then we have trainings. And so there's one training every month, and we're just kicking off an incredible training right now that's called Patterns and Portfolios. And from time to time, as the leader of the membership, I caucus the group, right? I did a poll and I said, okay, what is the most important thing that you would like to be learning about over the next several months? Because there's one training a month, and I like to do them kind of in a series so that we can go really in depth on the topic. And so all of the members voted for Patterns and Portfolios. And so we've already had our first training for the month of April that was on Pattern and Portfolios. And I'm going to show you a little bit of a sneak peek into it. And of course, it's available to you if you join, even though it came out on Monday and today's Wednesday. It's totally available for you inside the membership. And then we're going to continue on this topic in both the month of May and in June. So that by the time you get through all 3 of these trainings, you will have a complete portfolio with a whole variety of different patterns in it. And we're going into detail on a couple of new type of pattern designs using templates. And this is a whole new area of exploration when you're creating repeating patterns to create more flow and more ease and better distribution of your motifs. And so I'm incredibly excited about it. Super, super excited about it. So one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to show you some, and then we wrap up the month. Let me make sure I don't forget. We wrap up the month with a Q&A, right? You always have to have a Q&A. You got to have a place where you can post your questions. We collect them all, and then Pauline helps me make sure that I answer them all in the Q&A session at the end of the month. And what's totally awesome about it is that we also, because we want to ensure that you have time to network with each other, these are on Zoom. The call at the Zoom session at the beginning of the month is on Zoom, so you can work with each other in breakout groups. And the wrap-up call at the end of the month, which we're having next week, is for April, is also an opportunity for me to put you into breakout groups so you can get to know each other and start to network more and decide if you actually want to be partnering with someone else in the membership to create some type of business together. And over the years, I've had the membership now since 2021, and over the years, they've been these amazing partnerships that have been created inside the membership. And one of them is actually called Sage Designers, and it's a series of the members who have spun off to create their own co-op. And they do two things with their co-op. One is they design collections together as a group. And the other thing they do is they actually coordinate placement of fabric orders so that they do this in such a way that they can get an incredible discount on the amount of yardage that they're having printed. So that's an incredible way for us to, for you to get new ideas generated based on what other people in the membership are doing, and some of those might become incredible partnerships for you. And it's great to see Patricia Sandoval. Hello, Patricia Sandoval. We haven't seen you in ages. How are you, my sweet friend? One of the things I love best about having this type of creative community is that I recognize your names, right? So you might have disappeared for a little while, but you come back, right? And so Betsy is here. It's great to see you as well. And Joan, I don't know you as well, and I can't wait to get to know you better. But it is really a beautiful family of creatives who are all working towards the goal of getting more out of their design work and sharing it more broadly in the world and taking advantage of everything that I'm able to teach you about how to do that effectively. And the membership is a great place to start. So one of the things I wanted to do is I'm going to look, before I share my screen, I want to see if I can find a couple of examples of what I wanted to show you of patterns that we're going to talk about in pattern types that we're talking about right now in the month of April. So give me a second to see if I can find them. Let's see, I'm going to go to open recent files because it might be in here. And in the meantime, you can totally, if you have a question for me, you can pop it into the into the chat. Right? Pop it into the chat. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. So I'm teaching you in the month of April how to create patterns with a template. And the template that we're using is here. I've got it open now so I can share my screen with you. And the template that we're using, I want to make sure that I see that you guys can actually see this. So yep, there you go. So I'm teaching you how to create a shape like this. It's called an OG shape. It looks a little bit like an onion. And then I'm giving you a whole bunch of different examples of patterns that I've created using the shape. And sometimes you keep the shape in the pattern, like this beautiful one that I did for my Christmas ornaments. This is actually a Christmas wrapping paper design, but you can also use the shape kind of as an outline. You see how pretty this is? These are a cute little bouquet that I made, and then I just repeated it, but it follows along the shape of the OG, and you can tell in both of these cases it helps you. But when you're using this type, and I did one here as well, and the fun thing about this is it looks like it's a heart, but it's actually not a heart. It's actually two OGs that are superimposed on top of each other to create this really pretty shape. This really, really pretty heart shape. This is inspired by a deck of cards because my family loves to play cards. But what I wanted to show you is I wanted to show you those examples, because when you start to learn how to create repeating patterns using a template, you can hide the template. You don't have to show the template, but in some cases, the template itself can be part of your design, as I just demonstrated there. But you also can then use it as a guide, and then you hide it at the end of your process. And it allows you to create patterns that have a beautiful flow to them. And they're really repeating in a beautiful way that looks really elevated and professional, and it takes your skills to a whole new level. So that's just an example of what it is that we're doing in the month of April. And then we're going to continue down that same path in May and also in June. So the great thing about the membership is that you can absolutely, you can join for a month. You can join for the training series, which means that you'll join for 3 months, or you can join for the year. And let me just pop the, I know that my beautiful friend and community manager, Pauline, has put this in the chat already, but I'm just going to show you what the page looks like that has additional details about it, so that you can see. I'll just show that to you on screen also. So you go to members.artwithann.com/membership. And then you can scroll down to learn about what I was calling those stages, those 4 stages, right? Where you start to hone your skills, and then you're starting to grow your community, then you're launching your products, and then you're refining your business. And then this is where I was describing the community that you're joining, the fact that you're going to gain a lot more clarity because we're going to set goals together. You're going to have an ability to connect with a lot of other people who are in the online space, in the creative space. And then you're also going to get coaching from me. So you can hear from what students have, members are saying. I've got wonderful testimonials. There are 2 options for you to join: $79 a month, or you can purchase for the year. And that saves you a bunch of money. And then also, this tells you a little bit of a recap of the fact that we start the month with an accountability session, like I was describing. And then we have these guest spotlights, right? The How I Did This spotlights. Then you get the monthly training, where I was just talking about how we're learning how to use templates, and then we wrap up the month with a Q&A session. So this is where you go to learn more and to decide whether or not you would like to join us. And I don't open it very often, but I wanted to open it now because this training series is so incredible. And I'm so excited to get started in the training series. And I would love for you to join us if you want to take advantage of it as well. So I don't see any questions, but I always like to stay on for just about a half an hour. I'm doing great because it's 12:28. So I'm so thrilled that you joined me here today. That's the clock telling me that it's 12:30, although I think it's a minute. I think the clock is running a little early, but I don't know if you heard that ding. And I wanted to just come on and tell you, please go to my website, annlafollettart.com, and you can get free resources from me there. You can also read my blog, because there's a big red button in the upper right where you can read about all kinds of other topics that I've covered about art, creativity, and surface design. You can put this Wednesday, noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern program on your calendar to join me every Wednesday to talk about art, creativity, and surface design. And then I would love to invite you to join my Anne's Atelier Creative membership so that you can take your skills even deeper and we can do it together. All right, so thank you for joining me. I'm very, very, very pleased to have had an opportunity to talk to you guys today. I'm going to let you go before I keep talking more. And one of the things I do at the end of every broadcast is I say, I am Anne LaFollette, and it's never too late to create. Bye for now, and I'll see you next week.